Hey, what's up? It's Comic95 the Savior, and for this video, I will be talking about 50 things that I personally find to be pet peeves of mine that are super annoying about online dating in Japan. I will mostly be sticking to popular apps such as Tinder and even OkCupid. Of course, Bumble, all the other ones can fall into this category too, but mainly Tinder. Tinder is by far the most popular dating app here in Japan, and it has the most attractive users. It also has the most new users constantly joining on a regular basis, regardless of what city you live in. Unlike other apps like Bumble and OkCupid, where even in the biggest of cities, you can easily go through all of your matches in the span of less than 24 hours. But that is a completely different story. Again, this is my opinion, things that I personally find to be annoying, which means that things on this list that I find annoying, you might not mind, you might not care about. Also keep in mind that depending on your looks, just being real, some people are more desperate, thirsty. You're just glad to get attention from an Asian guy. You're glad to be talking to a Japanese man. You don't care about these things. But for myself, I compare dating here how I would in the US. And yeah, some things can just be really big turnoffs. There's going to be plenty of things that I'm going to leave off this list that I've already talked about in other videos, whereas other things will overlap. For example, let's get a few things out of the way. Obviously, sex talk, the boobs and vagine kind of guy, the guy that's like, oh my god, oppa, sugoi, like crap like that. Like, I'm not gonna bother to add those things onto my list, but of course they're in the honorable mentions, if you will. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, this is my opinion, my list, things that irritate me. I am not every girl, every woman, every foreigner. I'm speaking for myself. Maybe a lot of you guys can relate to this if you are a girl that has either lived in Japan or that has been here for a minute and experienced dating here. You probably can find a lot of these things relatable, and the longer you stay here, the more annoying these things will become. I will also say that when I first came here, I was not bothered by the majority of this list. I didn't mind. I thought that a lot of these things were cute, cool, funny, you know, whatever. Or I didn't think anything of it, but obviously the longer I've lived here, the more I've dated, you start to see a pattern, a trend, and it becomes super repetitive, super annoying, and you just wonder, like, why? What's the purpose in it? So let's before we get started, very last thing, this list is 50 things, as I've already wasted nearly 3 minutes of this video. I can't even see the time. I've already wasted several minutes of this video, so as you can imagine, this video would make it to 5 hours long if I were to actually sit here and talk in detail about each of these 50 things. So in order to keep it from being 3 hours long, we're going to try to keep it at an hour, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about each one. I will literally list it, maybe talk for a second, but that's it, because again, this will get way too lengthy. So let's go ahead. Number 1, fake profiles, or aka photoless profiles. The ones where it's a guy with the ramen bowl, the picture of an animal, anime character. Dude, Tinder is a looks-based app. If I can't see what you look like, why would I match with you? Like, I always wonder why guys complain about not having matches. Like, this is the type of stuff that's the reason why. If we can't see your face is, blurred out, you're wearing shades, you're 30 feet away from the camera, who's going to match with you? Like, unless you say that you're a millionaire or something. Think. Number 2, fake doctors and lawyers. Yes, of course, everybody on Tinder that's 20 years old is already a doctor and a lawyer at that. Like, come on, do you know how many people, if you've ever dated online, especially in Japan, I promise you cannot go 24 hours without coming across at least 5, 10, if not 100 guys, depending on how long you spend swiping on there, that claim to be a doctor and or that claim to be a lawyer. Yeah, right, a doctor at 25? You wish. Number 3, fake flexers and false flaggers. And what I mean by that is, you'll have a guy on there that tells you that he likes Louis Vuitton or Balenciaga, and you're like, okay, you're 20 years old, you aren't rich, your parents aren't rich, you're a student. Yeah, what's the purpose in pretending? Or you'll have the guy that has the rented Ferrari or something, or that's standing next to some cool car that he saw at an auto show. Dude, it's not your car, it's leased. Your friend leased it, actually. What's the purpose in that? It's not yours. Stupid. Number 4, I believe we're on, men looking for rebounds. You'll literally come across guys that have in their profile that their girl allegedly cheated on them. So either they want to stay with their girl and just want to cheat back, or their girl cheated on them, or they broke up and now they're looking for, another fling, basically. Again, so of course you could take this different ways. For some of you, you might be like, oh, well, he's looking for a new relationship, so maybe I can be that one. But anybody with a brain, you're saying rebound. Basically, you're trying to waste my time, use me, have sex with me, and you're gonna go back to your girlfriend, and or you're not really ready or looking for a real relationship. You just want to have a one-night stand to get your mind off of this alleged, situation that took place. I've literally come across so many profiles with guys claiming, like I saw this one guy in particular that was claiming that his girlfriend came home, I think it was his wife actually, smelling like men's cologne. And so he claimed that he made this account so that he can basically get back and do the same thing. Okay, like who in their right mind that cares about their body wants to get tangled up in that crap, emotionally or physically? This is why STDs exist. Number 5, married or taken men that don't want married or taken women. Now I find this one to be very strange. Don't get me wrong. In one sense, I do understand it. Just because you're in a situation doesn't mean you want somebody else in that situation too. But at the same time, there's a lot of irony involved. You want a girl that's completely clean, has, no history of divorce, isn't married, etc. But you want her to be willing to take your dog behind that's cheating on your wife, but you don't want to get involved with another man. You don't want her to have a husband. So yeah, the whole situation is just really stupid and weird. But again, one part of me gets it, but the other part is like, how ironic, how stupid. It's okay for you to have a wife. It's okay for you to have a girlfriend. But you don't want to mess with somebody else that has that going on. You want somebody that's innocent, pure, and, you don't have to worry about anything, basically. There's so many guys that do this, and yeah, I think it's sick. Number 6. This is one that I've fallen for a gazillion times. Men that will keep everything clean until they exchange your line ID with you. They will wait until you give them your line ID, and then they'll start asking the questions that they didn't ask on Tinder, such as for sex, etc. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid. I know a lot of guys do this to try to go around the system with Tinder because they don't want you to report them, which will ultimately get their account banned. So they wait until they have you online or Instagram to ask you all the nasty and inappropriate questions. If you are smart, you should try to wait and filter out people before you add them online, and as a precaution, have your Tinder account ready for as soon as they ask you something super inappropriate, nasty, whatever you don't want to hear, and report them like how I do. Yes, I do that. I'm petty, and those guys deserve it. It's super stupid, super annoying, waste your time, gets your hopes up. You think you're talking to a nice guy just for him to be, once again, another fuckboy. Number 7, men who use old and or misleading pictures. For example, you'll have a guy that has a picture where he looks really handsome, and then upon further talking to him, you find out that that's not what he looks like anymore. That was a picture of him 10, 15, 20 years ago. Now he's 40 pounds heavier, has wrinkles, and God knows what else going on with his skin. And while I hate to be shallow, superficial, whatever, again, it's Tinder, it's an online dating site, and the reality is, this shallowness that you're referring to, it goes both ways. The reason why the guy messaged you is because he thought that you were attractive. If you were not attractive and you had a picture of a treehouse, you probably wouldn't have gotten swiped on, right, by that guy. So how is it fair for him to trick you and make you think he looks like something that he does not? And again, this goes both ways. Of course, I know that some guys are going to be like, well, actually, ladies do it too. This is a video from a girl's perspective. And from a girl's perspective, this is super annoying. Because again, if you knew beforehand, you can make that call yourself. If you're okay with dating a guy this big, or if you're okay with dating a guy that, is wrinkly or whatever, that's on you. That's fine. But for a guy to pretend like he looks a certain way and doesn't, it really pisses you off. Nobody likes a catfish. Number 8, men that beg you to super like them. That is like the most shallow, stupidest thing in the world. I'm sorry, you should be glad that a girl liked you and are matched with you to begin with. Let's be real, we know how the algorithm works. We know that everything's in the girl's favor. The last thing that I want to do is come across a guy whose bio is begging me to super like him to stroke his ego. And I don't know what's worse, the guy asking to be super liked, or the guy that tells you that he really wants to talk to you, especially if he super liked you. Because then it makes it weird, because it's like, okay, like, I'm liking a profile of a guy that admits that he uses the super like button. Like, for myself, I don't super like anybody, but okay, you're admitting that you use the super like button, but I noticed that you didn't use it on me, so do I like your profile anyway? Like, I don't know, it just makes it really awkward. Like, you're encouraging me to not like your profile unless you were really, really hot and I decided to super like you, which I never do. So yeah, Personal pet peeve, I don't like it. It's definitely a left pass for me. Number 9, men that ask if you've dated or met other men on Tinder or whatever other app. Do you really think you're the only person in the world that I've ever met or that I'm ever going to meet and or talk to? Seriously? Like, get over yourself. Don't get me wrong, again, playing devil's advocate, I get it a little bit from a guy's perspective. You're worried, oh, this person's so cute, they probably have met a gazillion people, I don't want to get something. But the same thing can be said for you though too. And who would answer that question? It's none of your business. Either you are willing to take that risk and trust a person or you don't. It's just an ignorant, stupid question to ask, basically. I don't see any purpose in it. And again, it doesn't do anything, because let's be real, nobody's going to be honest about that question to begin with. And secondly, you're not going to be honest if I were to ask the question back. So what's the purpose at this point? And meeting somebody doesn't mean that you have sex with them. I cannot even remember the guys that I've dated. I'm not even exaggerating. I was talking to my mom about this the other day. I've legitimately lost count. It is definitely possible for a guy to come up to me and claim to have dated me, and I may or may not remember him. I might not even know his name or face or anything, but I definitely obviously can recollect the people that I've slept with. And with that said, while I've dated tons of people, I have not had sex with tons of people. I keep that number under wraps. But with that said, it's like, okay, like it's an unfair comparison. You're equating the people that you've dated and met with people that you actually have sex with. Girls, for the most part, are not as desperate as men when it comes to that. We can be more selective. For guys, anyone that they meet on Tinder, their goal is normally to sleep with you. Whereas from a girl's perspective, you have more leeway. You can meet the guy and decide, do I want to give it up to this guy or do I want to save it for someone else? You have those choices. Number 10, this one's gonna rub people the wrong way, but being real, not sugarcoating. Guys that look like girls. Don't get me wrong, I was okay with this at first when I first came to Japan, and I'm not talking about what you're thinking, but rather what I am talking about is host guys, the anime looking dudes. Sorry, as a straight heterosexual woman, I am not attracted to a guy that looks like me, basically, like, or shall I say looks girlier than me. Like, it's a turn off. I don't know why guys think that's a good idea profile wise. I guess if you're just looking to sleep with people, maybe foreign girls like it, but I never see Japanese girls even like walk around with guys that look that way. So I have no idea like why guys like to go for the pretty boy metrosexual like look or whatever you want to call it. It's not even like that. Like, it's one thing to take good care of yourself, wear nice clothes, but I mean like the guys with the pencil thin eyebrows, the pink hair, you know, the host looking guys. It's a total turn off. I don't see how it helps them. Again, Japanese girls don't date these guys. I don't see any foreign girls with them either, so I guess they're literally just there to be hosts. Yes, it's weird. I don't get it. Number 11, men that ask you a ton of unnecessary questions just to ultimately ask you for sex. Dude, what was the purpose in you asking me about my job, what my hometown was, how long I've been in Japan, how long I've studied Japanese, just for you to ultimately say, can you suck my dick? Like, you could have just said that to begin with. Why waste my time? And I'm sorry, maybe you thought otherwise, but actually you're ensuring that I'm not going to do that because you wasted my time. You might as well just got to the point, saved yourself time, saved me time, because now I'm pissed off. I most certainly do not want to do that. Like, why ask all of that? You don't care, you're not going to care, and I'm not going to do it. So why did it matter what type of teacher I was? Why did it matter how long I've been in Japan when you have no intention of being serious with me? If your goal is to be serious, then fine. Totally understand getting to know you questions, but to ask 100 questions before you've met, or even after you've met, when you know in your mind your goal is just to have sex, that does not work with girls. I don't know why guys think that does, but it's not going to help you get some, basically. Number 12, I believe, is similar to number 3, except these people are legit. Men that show off their car, their house, their money, etc. Now, there's a difference between the false flaggers and the ones that really do have it that way, but don't be fooled. You might think, oh, this guy has it together, he's looking to settle down, he's done playing games. Nope, wrong. You will come across guys that really do. They have, you know, the BMW, the nicer car, whatever type thing. Not filthy rich, but, you know, have money, especially by Japanese standards. Having a car, period, is a bit of a flex in Japan, even if you're driving like a Toyota Camry or something. But back on subject, yeah, you'll have the guy that shows off his nice house, his nice car, showing you stacks of his money, etc. I've even had guys that like have their like bank statements or whatever on their profile. So it's like, what's the purpose in doing all of that when you're not going to give that girl any of your money? You're not going to give her a ride in your car. She's not going to go to your house. You're just going to take her to a love hotel, ask to go to her place, and yeah, defeats the whole purpose. Last time I checked, the purpose in bragging about money is to use that money to get girls. Girls like guys with money when the money is being spent on them. Girls don't like guys that just have money. You're not a legitimate celebrity, so there's no status to gain from having slept with you or having dated you unless money or experience is being given out of that. If you're not going to take a girl on a date and you're going to quickly, immediately try to ask to go to a hotel or go to her place, what was the purpose of making all of your pictures or even including one photo showing that stuff? That's not going to help a girl make a decision. You'll get some right swipes, but any girl with a brain, once she realizes, oh, he's not going to spend any money on me. Oh, he's not going to take me to his place. I'm not going to get a ride in his car. I'm unmatching you. Like, what was the point? What was the purpose of, in this? It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. Number 13, guys that pretend to be looking for a wife and or a girlfriend just to quickly ask you for sex. There's been trick ways that guys do this. I've literally had guys that claim to be looking for a girlfriend, and then they'll message you and tell you that they need to have sex with you in order to see if you're compatible. Now, don't get me wrong. I can agree with this to a certain extent, but is that how you start off a conversation? It's something that should happen naturally and happens within your mind. Not something that you would share with your partner that you're waiting to have sex with them to see if they're really the one, especially not before you even met each other in person. Waste of time, stupid, and let's be real, for most people that's not really the case. They're really just trying to get more matches by leading people on. It's not a matter of checking compatibility. They're trying to waste your time, and by using the disguise of compatibility, you'll one, get more matches because girls are more serious on dating apps, especially hookup apps as they've been used like Tinder, and two, beyond that, it helps you feel better and gives closure to the girl because you can just say, oh, the sex wasn't that good, even though it was great. Your intention just wasn't to make a girlfriend or wife out of her. Number 14, people with a fake age and or no age listed. You'll have the guy that'll claim that he made a mistake when signing up for his profile and he's like 5 or 10 years younger than what he really is. The guy that has no age. And I mean, this is how I see it. If your age is so secretive, what else are you hiding about yourself? And to be honest, hiding your age just makes me think that you're older than what you are, which makes me more inclined to not match with you. I think it's even dumber from the girl's perspective because most women, like myself, find older men to be attractive. So I don't see what's the big deal about hiding your age, especially if you look good for your age. Either you're going to look younger than what you really are, or you're going to look older than what you really are. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. I kind of get it, kind of don't. It's stupid. It's a pet peeve. It's annoying. Number 15, similar to number 1, but pictures where it is the actual person. So the photo wasn't fake, but they're obscured. There's like a sticker over his mouth or something stupid. And the excuse is that the guy doesn't want to be recognized. But it's like, dude, anybody that knows you, even if they just see the back of your head, they'd recognize that it's you. So it's even stupider when it's a picture of the guy and you can see their entire face and it's like they have like an eye patch or they have like an emoji over their mouth or something stupid. It's like, what's the purpose in like either upload a real profile picture or don't upload anything at all. The dumbest thing about this is there's no reason to be hiding on dating apps because anybody that sees you, your question right back to them is, what were they doing on that dating app to know that you were there? It's stupid. Makes no sense. Number 16. Men who claim to be new to Tinder. Like, what? Who cares? Like any dating app. Oh, I'm new here. My friend suggested that I signed up. My coworker, my whatever. Like, please stop. You signed up on your own because you want to get some pussy. And you realize you've been wasting your time getting drunk with your male coworkers. And now you realize, oh, I don't have any pussy to come home to. I'm tired of going to Soapland. That's what really happened. It wasn't your friend that suggested it. Wasn't your coworker. Wasn't your dad. Wasn't your brother. Wasn't your next door neighbor. Wasn't your cat. Wasn't your dog. It was you. You and your penis decided that you wanted to sign up for Tinder. Can we please stop with the little stupid generic lies? Literally every other profile. This is my first time. I'm new here. Please help me. Please teach me. Please be patient with me. Shut up. You're not new to Tinder. God, so annoying, so stupid. You want to know what people do when they're new? They don't tell you. When I first downloaded Tinder, it was actually when I first came to Japan. The app had been around forever. And I didn't do it immediately. I thought I was too good for the app. I thought it was just for hooking up, just for casual sex. I avoided Tinder like the plague for at least about 6 months before I finally caved in and downloaded it. And you want to know what I didn't do? I did not write anything in my profile about how I was new to Tinder. I had never used it. Please teach me. And that really probably would have helped me as a girl, because guys love girls that have never heard of sex before on Tinder, because that's what Japanese guys want you to say when they ask you, have you met anybody here before? Are you gonna go find him for me? Is this a survey where I get paid cash for answering that question? Stupid. Number 17, men who brag about their dick and or condom size. I'm not going to go into detail about that, but long story short, let's just put it this way. A lot of the guys that think they're big, they're not big at all. They're very much indeed average. Not to mention, let's be real, ladies, width, girth matters a lot more than length, and it's really great if you have both going on. It's such a total turnoff, and instantly as a girl, it makes me think, just like how guys try to think, how many people have you slept with? Does this guy have herpes or something? Like, why would that be a bragging point inside of your bio? Because more than likely, there's going to be some other girl who is impressed by that and is going to want to sleep with you. Okay, how many girls are going to message you based off of that? I do not want to fall into that group or category. And while I'm not stupid, of course, just because you have sex with more than one person doesn't mean that you have something. But let's also be real. The more people you expose yourself to, especially in a casual setting, the more likely you are to get something. And there's a very large population of people that have incurable STDs, such as herpes. And I don't want that. I care about myself. If you don't, that's great. I do. Simple as that. Number 18, men that tell you they receive a lot of messages. Do you want a cookie? In fact, by you saying that, now you've just guaranteed that I'm not going to swipe right. Like, why are you telling me this? I don't care. Like, imagine if a girl wrote on her profile, I receive a lot of dick. Are you going to swipe right on her? More than likely, no. Because the first thing that's going to cross your mind is, oh my God, she's a whore. What if I get herpes? What if I get AIDS? Okay, that's exactly what crosses my mind. You sound stupid. Number 19, men that can't hold a conversation. You would literally have guys like where they try to set up the conversation where it's left for you to reply back. And it just doesn't work that way for me. It's like, dude, I have so many other people to talk to. If you can't hold a conversation, the other 7 million guys can and will. Like, I'm not going to waste my time trying to stretch a conversation with you. Like, I don't even know why you messaged me at this point. Number 20, guys that message you and then never reply. Dude, why did you match with me? We can give the excuse that guys just swipe right on everybody. I know about that. Okay, but why message me? You message me and then don't reply back. And it's not even like one of those situations where you message something and it wasn't the answer that they wanted, but it'll be like a simple message, like something like saying, hi, nice to meet you, or you're cute, and you thank the person, say hi back, and then they just vanish, disappear. Okay. And it's weirder from a girl's perspective because, again, the ball is in my court, so it's not like you have a gazillion matches to choose from. So it's even weirder. It's like, okay, I mean, I don't care. I'm not crying over, spilled milk, whatever. There's plenty of other guys. But it's just weird. What was the purpose in matching with me if you're just going to ignore me or not continue the conversation out of nowhere? Not for any good reason. Just decided not to. Number 21, men that say they'll show you their picture later. Every once in a while, you might have a really nice bio, or just out of curiosity because the picture is nice, or it's a cat or something that you like. You might actually swipe right on the set guy, or it could be by accident. And if you're like me, you might ask them, hey, why don't you have a picture? Hey, can I see your picture? And they might say, oh, I'll show you my picture later. I'll do whatever. Yeah, okay, and I'll unmatch right now. Like, no, that's not the way it works. You get to see me. I have tons of pictures. I even have videos. Why can't I know who I'm talking to? I'm not going to expose you or something. You can see what I look like. You even have access to my Instagram. I don't understand that. No, it's not a fair trade, not a good deal. I'm giving you a second chance just by swiping on you, even although I have no idea what you look like. And most of these bios, like the guy isn't even like bragging about himself. So it's not like the guy says, hey, I have tons of money, swipe right on me. It'll literally be like a guy with a ramen bowl, cat picture, whatever. And then when you ask them, they'll be like, I'll show you later, or you'll see me in person. That sounds like some type of like axe murderer type stuff. Absolutely not. Number 22, people with crazy bios. I can't even like go into detail with this, but you'll see some really like crazy weird stuff from people talking about things they like to what they don't like. It can be them talking about large breasts, talking about hating children, talking about how girls that are cheating on their boyfriends are whores. It's just all type of crazy, ridiculous stuff that you will come across if you read people's bios. It's strange. Number 23, men who play hard to get. Really stupid and really difficult to play hard to get when you're hard to want in the first place. Definitely not a good idea for a straight man to be trying to play hard to get with a straight woman, especially when you're dealing with a foreign girl, or really anybody for that matter, any woman on a dating app, because again, the ball is in her court, the odds are in her favor, etc. So I don't know why guys think that's a good idea. So yeah, like it's just stupid. Don't get it. Number 24, men who don't match with you on the app, such as Tinder, for example. I'm using Tinder as my sample, like I said, but really any dating app. Men who don't match with you, but then they'll message you on Instagram, which that's fine. But then you go to their profile is in private, and or they have no profile picture on their on their profile, even if it is public. Okay, I don't know what you look like. We didn't match, and more than likely we didn't match because either you also had no picture on Tinder, or because your picture was ugly. Like, you could at least kind of redeem yourself if I can see what you look like. Again, not fair. You see what I look like, you know who I am, but I don't know who you are, and I don't feel like having to play 20 questions with you back and forth. Again, instead of wasting my time asking you and begging to know who you are, there are thousands and thousands and hundreds of other people that already have that there. Why would I waste my time on you? Number 25, men that'll tell you that they liked your Instagram, but they won't follow you, and sometimes they won't even like any of your pictures. So you'll get messages both on Instagram as well as on Tinder, where it'll be a guy that says, hey, I saw your profile, I liked, your Instagram, whatever. And then you think to yourself, like, okay, you aren't following me, and you didn't like any of my pictures, but you wasted the time to tell me that you liked it. Okay, like, what am I supposed to say to that? Or you have the other side where the person doesn't follow you, but they bother to like your stuff and tell you. So it's just weird, awkward, and yeah, I'm definitely not going to waste my time meeting you. Number 26, this is a sensitive topic, but just being real. Guys that don't mention their height and their weight. We can go this way with girls too, but again, I'm a woman speaking from a girl's perspective. Guys can say the exact same thing. Okay, as a woman who is both short and who is not obese, I am on the chubby side, but with that said, okay, I think that if you are somebody that is not the ideal shape, not the ideal height, I can't relate to this personally. I do think that it's important for people to know and or see what you look like. I have pictures and videos of what I look like. People can see what my body looks like. They can see what my face looks like. And you can decide, am I your type or not? To one guy, I might be too fat. To another guy, they might wish I were bigger. To one guy, I might be too tall. To another guy, I might be too short. Whatever the case might be. So with that said, I feel the same way towards guys. Not to be shallow, but again, being real. People have their own taste on wants, on whatever. And to be honest, you're hurting yourself because all that's going to happen is, let's say that you do meet up with this girl. Once she sees that you're 10 feet shorter than her, she's going to bail out on you on the date. That's a lot more embarrassing. I would much rather someone decline dating me because they think that I'm too tall and or too fat. Sorry, I wanted to finish my thought, but yeah, I would be more embarrassed to go out on a date with someone and just see, like, I think we've all been there before if you've ever done online dating, where you're on a date and you can tell that your date is like so not into you, super uncomfortable. They feel like they've been catfished, or for whatever reason they just don't think you're cute. Okay, I don't want to go that route, and I've definitely been on both ends of it. I've both been the girl who felt like I was catfished by the guy, and I've also been the girl who I could tell that the guy like was looking at me and was like, oh my god, I don't like her. And that hurts. Honestly, I haven't had that experience since I was like 19 in the US. But at the same time, I mean, I'm talking about men, not myself. Save yourself the time and trouble. I get it. You think by not listing your height or whatever that you're helping yourself, but really you're not. You're better off having the girl decide that you're too short for her, you're too skinny, too fat, too whatever, than wasting your time meeting her and then her belling out on you. Unless you just have a creepy fetish of girls rejecting you, or you just want to meet her to see if she's real and you don't mind the fact that she walks away after 2 seconds. I don't get why you wouldn't mention your height and or your weight. Well, you should be mentioning both. Girls don't really care about your weight so much as long as you're not really, really obese, but height does matter to women. It's just factual. Just like how guys want women who have womanly bodies. Asian men in particular love girls with breasts. That's just a fact. If you don't have large breasts doesn't mean that you're ugly, but of course having large breasts do make you attractive, just like big eyes. The list goes on. Basically, it's of importance. Guys want a girl with a womanly feminine body, women with long hair, women with big breasts. Okay, Girls want men who are tall and look like they can protect them. We like strong, masculine, muscular men. It's just factual. Every girl is different. I have my own taste, you have your own. This video is not about that. So yeah, like, I think it's important for people to know what to expect. Maybe you're not into... Most girls do not want to date a guy that's shorter than them. Most people do not like people that are obese, and that goes for both genders as far as weight goes. However, this is not to say that because you're big you can't find a partner, etc., but rather to say people want to, not feel like they're being catfished. If you have all of your photos and everything angled where it looks like you are thin but you're not, it's misleading. If you have your photos angled where it looks like you're tall but you're short, that's also misleading. So as a girl, I personally know this is a sensitive topic, and I don't like asking guys, like, oh, how tall are you? How much do you weigh, etc. I don't do that. But again, like, I feel like you should kind of know that that's important to mention. In defense of men, I do see a handful of men that do have things like that listed, their height. But normally when guys list their height, it's because they're considered as tall, or at least average height. Every once in a while you'll come across a profile where you feel really bad for the guy, where he's saying that he's sorry that he's short, etc. But again, like, leave that for that girl. Let that be her call. Let her decide if she wants to meet you or not. Again, save yourself time, save yourself the embarrassment. I would much rather somebody decide they don't want to meet me and not swipe right because they feel like, if I were a dude, I'm too short, versus, me meeting them in person and then having to deal with the awkwardness of them being embarrassed to be seen out in public with me. Same thing goes weight-wise. So yeah, just be really careful. Make sure that it's clear what you look like. Don't catfish people. I don't like that's a pet peeve of mine. Be upfront about your weight. Be upfront about your height. Don't waste my time. Number 27, guys that lie about being the guy in the photo. I cannot tell you how many times I've actually seen guys not only use a fake photo, but pretend to be the person. I actually came across a guy who didn't know that I knew the model that he was pretending to be. It was a lesser known Instagram model, but he was claiming that it was a cosplay that he was doing. And I was thinking to myself, like, dude, I didn't bother swiping right, but I was looking at, his description he had wrote talking about how he does cosplay. He actually pretended like that was his picture. He wrote in his description on his bio that this was a cosplay that he had done. And I'm like, dude, that is not a cosplay that you did. I know that Instagram model. I follow them. So yeah, like, just weird lies like that. What's the purpose in that? When a girl meets you in person, she's going to see that that's not really you. So if you're that lonely, that much of a loser, that you're just happy to talk to a girl, that you would rather lie and pretend to be someone else, I mean, that's kind of weird and doesn't seem very straight to me, but whatever, you do you. Pet peeve of mine. I can't stand people that lie like that. Number 28, guys that write racist stuff in their bio. I've seen guys say stuff like, I don't like Chinese girls, or I don't, speak Chinese, or no Chinese, no Korean, or whatever. And I'm not even Asian, and I find it to be super insulting, super offensive. If you don't date or don't talk to Chinese or Korean people, then you don't date or talk to me either. That's the way that I see it. I don't want to deal with, date, or marry a racist. Number 29, guys that unmatch easily. I literally had a guy unmatch me because he asked me why did I swipe on him, and I thought it was a stupid question, so I just gave him the shrug, and he got upset and literally unmatched me. Like, what? Like, how fragile. Like, you wanted me to pat you on the back and be like, wow, you were the cutest Japanese guy I've ever seen. Your eyes were so big and your skin was so white. Nigga, please, no. Number 30, guys that insist on using English with you. This could take on different forms. You have the guy that claims to have lived overseas for 20 years and is an English expert and wants to continue using English. Then you also have the guy where your entire profile is in Japanese, you're talking to him in Japanese, and he'll ask you, hi, is Japanese okay? Or like just randomly throwing katakana or romanji like throughout your conversation. It's like, dude, like, just speak one language or the other. Like, you're hurting my eyes and my brain. Either speak to me in English or speak to me in Japanese. I didn't ask for you to use English. You're the one doing that. My profile is written in Japanese entirely. There's no English there. What's the purpose in this? Or, like I said, more so to my point, is the guy that, consistently refuses to use Japanese. And then, like, if you do say anything, they try to pretend like they can't understand you, or your Japanese is so awful that they have to use English. And it's like, just admit that you're looking for free conversational English lessons and you're trying to take advantage of this app to talk to foreigners instead of, using your own money to pay to learn English at a conversation school, you cheapskate. Number 31, men that want you to stroke their Japan boner, aka the guys that are like, why did you come to Japan? Any answer that you give is not enough. You mean because you like anime? Because you like kawaii fashion? Because you like cosplay? Sorry, but Japan has the worst cosplay scene in the world. It's actually a lot better in the US. Both the quality of costumes, the amount of attention to detail that people put into stuff. A lot of the cool cosplayers that you see online are actually from like Taiwan and China, etc. And they're not Japanese at all. Not ethnically, nor country of origin. They just come and visit Japan. Is cosplay more fun to do here? Yeah, technically, because Japanese people are not really anal about things being exact. For example, people do not bother me for cosplaying as characters that are not black. They love my costumes. Anything that I do, no matter how mediocre, even if you're missing stuff, your hair is the wrong color, your eyes the wrong color, your skin's the wrong color, nobody cares. Nobody makes fun of you, teases you. They appreciate the art of cosplay. They think that it's cool overall. So yeah, there's things to like about it, but I don't like people that like brag about their country. I've said this before, but I just always think in the back of my mind, like, imagine if I were talking to an Asian person in the US on the train and I say to them, why did you choose to come to America? And they tell me, oh, I wanted to, go to UCLA. And I say, oh, because you like white guys and you like big dicks from black guys and you like Hollywood and you like American music, right? Because our music is so much better, right? And we have Marvel and all of the greatest movies, right? It would be super, I don't even know what to call that, but yeah, I hate people like that. It's annoying. Number 32, guys that message you late at night, booty call style. Even if the conversation isn't sexual, yeah, just don't do that. You saw my message way earlier. Don't message me at, midnight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., etc. If you cared about me, you message me earlier. You message me late at night, you might as well just unmatch yourself because I'm probably not going to reply at this point. Number 33, guys that immediately start talking to you about sex. There's guys that literally won't even say hi, nice to meet you, ask you anything. It's just immediately sex, ? Or let's have sex, or where do you play at, something like that. And it's like, what smart girl would answer that, agree to that right away? And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to contradict what I said earlier about guys, asking you 100 questions, but there has to be some kind of balance, like at least know something about each other, like to immediately not even say hi, no nice to meet you, just sex. What am I supposed to say? Yes? Like, no. Number 34, guys that immediately explicitly talk about your body, saying things like, oh, you have big boobs, or I like breasts, or I like butts, etc. Sometimes this isn't even visible in your photos, so it's like, why did you assume that I have that? I mean, you're right, but yeah, it's a stereotype, it's weird, it's creepy, fetishy. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna date or sleep with you. Number 35, guys that send emojis and or gifs without sending anything else prior to that. I'm not going to waste my time replying to that unless I'm just feeling bored and I care to send one back. It's one thing for you to be in the middle of a conversation and for it to make sense, but for that to be the start of the conversation, yeah, not quite exactly the best idea when, once again, there's thousands of other guys that have actual content to talk about, whereas you have nothing. Not to mention, most guys literally just copy and paste the exact same message to every girl, waiting for one of them to get back to him and not be some sort of scam from the guy's perspective. So if you can't even bother to do that and all you're going to do is send me a heart emoji or a thumbs up or whatever, like, I'm not wasting my time. It's annoying. It's a pet peeve. Number 36. This is a very personal one, but guys that focus on one of the 600 hobbies that you have listed. Anytime that I have cosplay listed as a hobby of mine, guys just want to talk about that. And maybe because it's the most interesting thing, because how many people here cosplay that people actually know on a personal level, but it's really annoying when people question your love for things based off how often you do it. Having cosplay as a hobby or liking something doesn't mean you do it every day. I like sex. Do I have sex with everyone every day nonstop? No. I have a job. I have a life. I do other things. I like video games. I have not played every video game. I don't play video games every day, every week, not even every month. Why? Because I'm grown. I have a life. I do crap with myself. And I don't understand like why that's so hard to get. So like if you tell a guy like, oh well, yeah, I admire cosplay, but I'm an amateur. I don't really do it like that. I don't have the time, money for it. Well, why was it listed in your profile? Well, I figured that you did because you said that. Okay. And you have in your profile that you like beer, but never mind. I guess alcoholics are pretty common in Japan. But you get my point. There's things that you would say that you like and enjoy too that you don't necessarily partake in every day on a regular basis. It's annoying. Number 37, guys that tell you or brag about how their dream is to marry a foreigner. Okay, well, it's definitely not going to be me because that literally is the definition of having a fetish. How creepy of you to say. Some dumb girl's gonna like it and be like, oh really, you love black girls? Oh really, you love blondes? Anybody with a brain would see that as being a red flag, because you've already decided inside your mind that based off of my race, I have this particular personality. And as a foreign girl, there's a 90% chance that personality is more so tied to sex than anything else. If you're okay with someone just liking you and or using you to be a token and or for sexual purposes, then by all means go ahead. But if you are a self-respecting individual, you should find that to be a turnoff and rather insulting that that's how they feel about you. Not to mention that 9 times out of 10, the guy that says that is just looking for a one-night stand or a friends with benefits type of relationship and not anything serious to begin with. Number 38. Guys that ask a ton of questions about your ex. I cannot tell you how many guys have actually asked me when we broke up, like before we even met in person. And all I could do is think to myself, like, why do you need to know that? And of course, as I got older and dated here longer, I came to the conclusion the reason why they want to know is, in their mind, they're associating the closeness when you broke up with the amount of partners that you had and the risk of you potentially having a disease and or STD, which is really stupid. But again, guy logic, that's the way that they function, that's the way that they think, work, whatever. Yeah, pet peeve, it's annoying. Number 39, men with obviously fake names. Now, I'm okay with a nickname or whatever, you want to protect your privacy, which is kind of stupid too, because it's like everybody in Japan has the same recycled 50 names. Like every guy has the exact same name as his friend, his sister, brother, whatever. Like everybody has the same name. So I think it's even dumber for people to use fake names in Japan than it is in the US. But with that said, it's like, dude, like if your name is something like Squish Me 500 or I Am Robot or Ramen Man 79, like, or just, something stupid. I'm not talking about like dating sites where you use usernames, but rather Tinder where you're supposed to use your actual name. I think it's stupid for like a guy to have their name will be, Son Goku or something. And again, to some other girl, you might be like, oh, that's funny, it's cute, it make me laugh. Sometimes I don't care, but again, like if you're trying to be serious with these apps, like a lot of girls are, it's a waste of time. It's stupid. I can buy somebody using the Jane Doe type names like Taro or something like that, but not a obviously like stupid fake name like Pussy Muncher or something like that. Like, no. Turn off. Number 40, guys that have things in their profile about being 420 friendly or, doing drugs or weed or whatever type stuff. And mind you, all of that stuff is illegal in Japan, so why would I want to be involved with you again? Not to mention it's a stereotype, and normally people think that by doing, putting that stuff inside your profile, you'll attract black friends and or foreign friends. I don't smoke, I don't like weed, sorry to break it to my subs, but I also don't like people that do these things. I just don't support it. I have all of that mess in my family and it's just not cool with me personally. So yeah, it's a pet peeve. I don't like it. It's a stereotype, generalization, and it's illegal in Japan regardless of your thoughts or feelings. So why would I want to hang out with you or be involved with you? Why would I want to risk deportation or going to prison or jail for being involved with your mess? Absolutely not. Number 41, men that list or talk about their alcohol tolerance in their bio. You have guys that talk about how they're weak and they can't drink a lot, or they turn really red like an octopus, etc., or boiled octopus, etc. And it's like, who asked you? Like, nobody cared. When since do girls buy you drinks? When since do girls try to date rape men? Never. Okay, with that said, I don't care how many drinks it takes for you to get drunk, because I'm not trying to do anything with you like that. And secondly, I don't buy drinks for men unless you're my boyfriend. And with that said, you're not my boyfriend. So why are you putting this in your bio? It just screams desperate, weird, boring, and you just don't seem like a fun person. Like your whole personality is just, hey, I'm an alcoholic. Yeah, no thanks. Number 42, guys that show you their disgusting, nasty, 2-finger signature pose, basically implying that they are going to be able to finger you good. Yeah, total turn off, because all I can do is think to myself, how many girls have you done that to? And yeah, I get it for some girl that's really horny, thirsty, whatever, maybe she'll like that, but to me it's just comical. I'm going to screenshot it and show it to my friends, and I definitely don't want your nasty prongs anywhere near my Kit Kat. No thank you. Number 43, couples looking to experiment. These are dating sites made for single people that are looking for one person, either to have casual sex with and or to date seriously long term. Nobody wants to be involved with you and your nasty girlfriend and your nasty boyfriend, etc. If that's what you're looking for, there are apps that are specifically made for that. please do not waste people's time that are serious, looking for someone, you know, real love, a real connection, real relationship, real whatever, and it really be a trap and a bait for you to try to introduce them to your boyfriend or girlfriend. It's creepy, it's predatory like, and yeah, it's scary. Total turn off. Absolutely not. Number 44, guys that are claiming to be looking for models. No, I'm not going to let you take creepy photographs of me at any location for you to keep and store inside of your camera. No thanks. Keep your foreign girl fetish to yourself. Find some other victim, but it's not going to be me. Number 45, guys that write an entire thank you speech in their bio. I've literally come across profiles where the guy is like, oh, thank you so much for all of your likes and for all of your messages. And it's like, dude, you're not valedictorian of, you know, Tinder. Like, stop. Nobody needs to know how many girls message you. Nobody needs to know about all of your messages. It's a turnoff, especially since you're a straight guy trying to talk to girls. Trust me, any amount of messages that you get, we get 100 times more faster. Like, just stop. Like, it's really annoying. Nobody wants to swipe right on that. Nobody that has respect for themselves, I should say. Number 46, guys that have pictures with babies. Is it your baby, your aunt's baby, your cousin's baby? Whatever the case is, sometimes they tell you. Nobody wants to see a random baby on a site where we're looking for someone to either 1, have sex with, 2, to date and or marry. I don't want to think about you and someone else's kid. It's not cute, it's not a turn on, it's just strange. Number 47, men that have pictures of themselves with foreigners. All that screams to me is that 1, you have a fetish, 2, you're looking for a free English teacher, and 3, it's kind of disrespectful. I should say this about the baby pictures too, but let's be real. Japan has a lot of rules, both legally and socially, that are unwritten and written about what you can and cannot do with other people's pictures. With that said, it's very disrespectful for you to not follow those rules in dealing with foreigners. It doesn't matter what we do in our home country, because this is not normal in your country, it should not be okay. That would be the US equivalent of me saying, well, in America, date rape is not okay. But since in Japan, you guys don't recognize it, yeah, I should recommend that guys come to Japan and rape girls. That would not be okay to say, would it? No. Okay. Well, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's also acknowledge the fact that it is not okay for, you know, you to break our rules either, or break your own rules either by saying, sorry, that's my oven. But it's not okay for you to break that rule when you're dealing with us either. I'm pretty sure the foreigners that you have pictures of have no idea you're using them on a dating site, especially when oftentimes these pictures make it where it's unclear. You can't tell, is the Japanese guy the person with the profile or is it the foreigner? And normally, like, the highlight of the profile is showing, like, these blonde girls or these, you know, black guys or whatever the case might be. Something that looks exotic to you. It's disrespectful to a foreigner. Number 48, similar to guys that can't hold a conversation, guys that just message hi back and forth. I've literally had a guy that sent me hi. I say back hi. Then he says konbanwa. Like, we just got past that point. Like, what's the purpose? No, I'm moving on. Yeah, not gonna waste my time on that. Number 49, guys that talk about the newfound knowledge they have of girls' sex drive or their particular requirements for it. I literally read a profile before where the guy was talking about how he had recently done some research and learned that girls have just as high, if not a higher sex drive than what guys do. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, like, why would somebody want to read that inside your bio? Like, there's nothing about you, just you talking about sex drive. Then on top of that, you also have guys that say that they specifically want a girl that has a high sex drive. And it's like, again, like, part of me understands it, but it's a turnoff. And all I can do is think that if you bothered to put this in your bio, what type of lifestyle are you living? Again, a self-respecting person wants to look out for themselves. It's one thing to be open about and honest about what you want to avoid, you know, wasting time and save time. But to me, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because most girls, especially if they're attractive, they're not going to want to waste their time talking to somebody like you because you seem too easy. So not even just too easy, like you seem like you have no self-respect, like you don't take care of yourself, you're not cautious, and thus there is more risk of getting something from you. So yeah, just really weird to write about yourself. And last but not least, number 50, the crazy men who are super defensive over Japan. So similar to the ones that want to stroke their Japan dick, these are the guys that just want to argue with you or talk negatively about other countries, including your own, while bragging and praising Japan. So yeah, like I've literally had, people that just want to talk about the issues in America, whether it be about gun violence, obesity, racism, etc. And then when you turn that and talk about the issues in Japan, instead of them being like, oh yeah, we have these issues here too, they get mad. And so it goes from, talking about that to just being really rude and disrespectful about your country, about your race, etc. And it's like, okay, but you do realize you started this conversation, right? This is supposed to be a dating app talking about relationships, sex, etc. Why are you bringing politics and countries and culture, etc. into this? This is your fault. And it's really weird. Like, why do you need to have all of this reassurance and all of these pats on the back to tell you that, oh, Japan is so much better than the US. It's so much better than every country in Europe. It's so much better than Africa. What do you get out of this? It's just really weird. So that's it. Again, this is my video, my own personal 50 things that I find to be very annoying. I've made other videos talking about things to look out for, bad things, etc. This can go on so much longer and forever. I could talk about the guys with the S and M's in their profile. There's so much other stuff. The guys talking about giving massages and whatever else. I've made videos on these topics before, but these are 50 things that I commonly see that irritate me. I hate seeing in profiles, I hate being messaged about, etc. Personal opinion. Different girls will feel differently about it depending on what you're looking for and how long you've been here. Some people want to have a threesome. Some people want that, whatever. They don't care that it breaks the rules in pretty much every dating app. And that's you, but this is me. I don't like this. I do care about myself. I don't want to, do that. I'm not that type of free, happy-go-lucky, whatever you want, free-spirited type, whatever you call that type of person. That's not me. So, yeah. Let me know if I missed anything that you personally find to be a pet peeve when it comes to online dating here in Japan. Other than that, if you haven't already, please like this video, and I would also appreciate it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not. As always, you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Comic95. I have a Snapchat, Comic the Savior, and you can also like my Facebook page as well, Comic95 the Savior. All of the links are down in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.